Hey guys, how you doing? Gavin with REI Network. I have a special little episode today, something that I've never done before. I'm going to introduce the guys here in a second. Just before I do, if you haven't already, make sure you go to reinetwork.com/downloads. I have two or three little gifts for you that you can download that I think is going to help your business, from cold calling scripts, my one-page contract, and my lead sheet. Especially right now, I'm traveling. I'm in Arizona. I'm sitting outside a Starbucks working. And that's kind of how I love to run the business, to run it from anywhere, from a phone, a laptop, Wi-Fi, and I can do podcast coaching calls, deals, while I'm traveling around. So it's pretty awesome. So you're going to get a lot of use from them. So remember, reinetwork.com/downloads. Go and grab it. And I don't think you'll be disappointed. So let us know. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube or the podcast, make sure you like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Give us any comments, any bad, good feedback would be great. Well, let's dive straight into it. So today, a little different. I've actually got two of my VAs on, two of my cold calling VAs have worked with me. One's worked with me a long time. And I'm going to introduce them. We're going to interact with them. Just talk about what it is like working with me and how we kind of run the business and what they do. They are very, very valuable part of the business on the lead gen side. So I thought it'd be pretty cool for everyone just to show our interaction, with our team, and kind of you can listen to them and get feedback on what they do. So LJ and Racket Ralph, how are we both?
Hi, we're good. Hi guys. Hey Gavin.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. So I appreciate it. They haven't got their videos on, guys. They don't have webcams, so I let them off. I said, okay, that's fine. We'll do it without. So here we are. So guys, I appreciate you getting on. So I'm probably going to go back and forth. You can ask questions as well if you've got anything for me as we go. We haven't talked about this. I've kind of just threw this together. So I know you guys aren't prepared, which is the point, right? I just want you to be honest and talk about kind of what you do. So let's start with you, LJ. LJ, you've been working with me now for, I don't know, 2 years,
More than 2 years, I think.
3. Yeah. So you kind of have developed into multiple roles, right? The way in terms that I run the business, I like to make sure that everyone can do multiple jobs because I can keep it fresh. And it's, always changing. We're always doing something different. And we have got something to announce actually later on in this show. So make sure you stay tuned for that.
Nice.
So LJ, tell us, so let's start with obviously cold calling, right? That's kind of where you started. You started on the dialer. Just tell us what you do, kind of the process that we work through, and let's start there.
Yeah, well, basically, I did start doing cold calls for you for more than a year, I think. So that was back in 2018. I used this dialer, Mojo. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with that, but Mojo is definitely a good dialer on some points. Just the audio delays, maybe. That's just one of the bad parts of using Mojo. But cold calling. I just ask, or we just ask people if they want to sell the property, or if they have thought about maybe selling, or if they maybe consider hearing an offer for their property.
Yep.
And then that's just it. If they say yes, or if they basically say, yeah, I have maybe thought about it. I may consider hearing an offer. I just go through the questions after that. I ask them if, maybe my managers could call them sometime to talk further. Can I ask them? I go on to asking them about the condition of the property. Is somebody else living in the property? Are they themselves living in the property? Or is it vacant? Right.
Yep.
So basically, the condition of the property, and if they have an asking price or whatnot, what are their plans on doing with the property? Do they want to rent it out, get it leased, or whatever? And we just send it to this web form that goes to Podio afterwards.
Yep.
Did that for more than a year. and I switched to other tasks that you made me do. Follow-ups. I think you had me do some lead applications or transfers um,
Yes.
one time.
Yeah, moving leads over.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, we did that. And we're going to come on here to your other tasks here in a second, but I just want to pick up kind of what you were just saying there about the cold calling. So
yeah.
our goal is to, find out if the seller is interested in selling, if they're interested in offer, gather information of the price, the condition, the timeline, and kind of gather motivation. Then we take good detailed notes. We use a web form that then drops into the CRM. So
Yeah.
and a lot of people know that we still build on Podio because we've been with it years and years and years. But we also use for a couple of our campaigns, we use REI Simple as well. So we have a web form that also goes into REI Simple to operate in the same way of moving leads from Mojo into REI Simple or into Podio, depending on what market it is and what team that I'm working with on the ground. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick back up there with you, LJ, here in a second. So Ralph, tell us a little bit about what you're doing. The same thing. You've worked in multiple markets as well. So what have you got to add on what LJ, if you've got anything to add on that cold calling side?
So for the cold calling, I will just add with the dialer with Mojo. I mean, we talked about in the past days that the bad audio recording for Mojo, which is like robotic and static and all that. And for um, cold calling, because I've been with Dustin Kircher, my previous client, for 2 years as well. We had a lot of success moving from market to market in a different location in Oklahoma.
Yep.
What we'll add is when doing some cold callings back then, we try to tweak a little bit the script instead of asking, "Hi, I'm looking for Gavin Timms." That will actually put their guard up and will ask us, "Who is this?" And we kind of took it a little bit in a way that when somebody answered the call, "Hello, Gavin," you know,
Nice.
and they wouldn't put their guard down. I mean, guard up. They
Yep.
will actually think that you are someone that they know. And
Yep.
actually, me and Dustin think that actually is pretty effective in a way that we're actually getting a lot of leads and closing deals.
Absolutely. So that's an absolute little gold nugget right there, guys. Right, the way that you start the phone call
Mhm.
is crucial. From what Ralph was just saying, it's like, "Hi, I'm looking for Gavin Timms." People are like standoffish, or "Hey, is this Gavin Timms?" Everyone, it kind of, as Ralph just said, it puts the guard up. So they're like, "Well, who's this? Who are you? Who's asking?" You're getting them things where you want to start the conversation with more confidence to say, "Hey, Ralph." Like, you again know that person in it, and something as small as that can get the conversation going really, really quickly. So that's a great little gold nugget for everyone, and that's actually in our script, guys. We have that in the cold calling script, reinetwork.com/cold calling, or no, sorry, reinetwork.com/script. You'll be able to get that, and it just says "Hey," then the name, and then people are like, "Oh yeah, that," and then the conversation will start. So that's great. Sorry, Ralph. Carry on.
All right, and as well, I actually watched LJ yesterday, dialing some driving for dollars leads, and
Yep.
we encountered this person that doesn't have first name. It's actually it belongs to like a
Company.
company,
Yeah.
Okay.
LLC, I believe. Yeah,
LLC. Yep.
yeah. Um, LJ was actually hesitant to dial it because he doesn't know who to look for. So I told him, why not start the call by, "Hi, I'm looking for the owner of 1051 Main Street," and he
Nice.
actually went from there.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
Yeah.
No,
Thank
that's
you for that.
great. No, that's great. But this is the point of the team. And this is what I try and get across to all of my clients and everyone watching is that you guys are super smart in what you do. Okay. And I'm very much like, the visionary, like, hey guys, we need to do this. And you guys go ahead and implement it and help each other out. And that's what it's about, right? Everyone can be improving. I can improve. We all can. But these little techniques that you guys are using and helping each other with is still driving the business forward as a whole. So that's awesome. So how did that call go yesterday? I'm just curious.
Well, the lady knew the deceased owner.
Actually, they're friends.
Yeah, they were friends.
They were friends.
She just asked for my name and my phone number. She said she might be able to bump into one of the family members, the living family members. And then yeah, maybe she'll just have them call me back someday. But she didn't really give me a timeline yet.
Okay, so we need to stay on top of that, right? We want to make sure that she's on follow-up for you, LJ. So give it
Okay.
3 days if we've not heard anything, which we won't, right? She won't do it. We need to call back and say, hey, this is LJ. We talked a couple of days ago, and let's have another go. Let's be persistent with this, okay? And because again, it could turn into a deal.
Yeah.
Right.
So what any other calls that when Ralph was listening yesterday, how did that go?
There was just one phone number that I mean, who answered really.
Okay,
I mean, some of them did answer, but they were just wrong phone numbers.
Right.
got it. Yeah. And
Yeah.
we're going to get that a lot, aren't we? We know that when we skip trace, we can have up
Yeah.
to 3 phone numbers per record. We only need 1 out of 3. So you're always going to get more wrong numbers than right. That's a common thing that every VA, everyone asks in the industry. It's like, oh, we're getting a lot of phone numbers wrong. Yes, you will, because we only need 1 out of 3 to be right. So that is gonna happen. So
Exactly.
okay, that's great. So what other LJ? Let's come back. So you've done the cold calling, same as Ralph, to bring in leads.
Mhm.
Okay, and then you also do texting and phone calls individually in our follow up. So how does that conversation go differently to the original cold call when it's a new lead? How are
Oh,
you handling your follow up?
it's way different from cold calling. So basically, warm calling or follow-ups, they already know that we already talked to them before, or I basically just remind them that we spoke to them before, like we're maybe a few months ago, a year ago. They might be able to, I mean, they might not be able to remember, but at least I've already established that, um, thought with them that we have spoken to them before about this property. I tell them, or I remind them that, or sometimes I see notations on Podio where they say things about the property that nobody else might know about, and that just really helps me a lot in building their trust with me. So it's really easy doing follow-ups. I mean, when it comes to building trust with the other person on the other line, compared to just cold calling.
Absolutely. So that's really good. So you look at the notes from what the last conversation is, because remember, we're always good and big on taking good notes. Whoever's on the phone call, whether it's acquisitions, whether it's Melissa, whoever's doing that lead, and then you look at them notes when you call back, you're referencing things from what happened last time to try and then build onto that rapport to then try and warm the lead up. So let's say someone is interested now, they wasn't before. What do you do then?
Oh, so if they weren't interested before and then now they are?
Yeah, so if it was like originally it wasn't a deal, they came in, and then you come across someone that's like, oh, actually, I'm interested in selling, or the situation's changed. What do you do then? What's your next move in
Oh,
that
well,
lead?
I just thank them first, of course, and just acknowledge their interest. Basically, what I usually do is I say, well, that's great. That's good to know. Well, do you have a minute to talk about it right now, or should I just have my managers, maybe call you back to talk further? And if they say yes, if they have the time now, they can talk to me. I reconfirm the notations that I see on Podio. Um, well, I just want to confirm some things here, because maybe things have changed already
Yep.
with regards to the condition of the property, or whoever lives in the property now, or maybe your asking price has changed, or
Yep.
also with mortgage, sometimes they are open to talking about whatever they owe on the property. Sometimes they're not, but
Yep.
if they do have those notations there that they were open last time, I just tell them or remind them that, hey, by the way, you mentioned last time when you spoke to one of my managers that you owed, let's say 50,000 last time. I'm pretty sure that has changed now, since it's been a while. I just asked
Yep.
them what the current amount is.
Yep.
So yeah,
And
so
and then
basically the
you
current status.
yeah, and then you tag it right back into obviously acquisition or Melissa or whatever side that you're working. You get them back then on the phone,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
So your job is to go back through, re-warm leads, okay, and then you bring them back in play by bringing, hey, tagging, hey, this one's interested, call them, and then acquisition again. We'll pick that lead up to then go deeper, see if we can get the contract. So that's exactly what we want you to do. One thing that I do want you to change, though, just while we're talking on this, I want you to try and make it a little more personalized in terms of instead of managers, I want you to start using names like, Melissa or Alex or Kerry or whatever, right?
Yeah, I do that too, yeah.
Because then it's a bit more like, hey, you spoke to Melissa. Hey, well, let me get Melissa back on the phone with you now that you're interested. It gives it, and maybe that's what I know we've talked before. Maybe you do that. You're just saying in this reference, because it could be any of them, depending on who's on that lead. You're just giving me a variation of that. So just make sure that we continue to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
But what if, just a question, what if, since, let's say, for example, you dialed a lead from before, let's say from 2 years or 3 years back, and they say they're interested, and you're going to tell them that Melissa will be calling you. How are we going to address Melissa if they ask, who is Melissa? Who's this Melissa? Let's say, just for example, that they forgot her.
Yeah, okay, good question. So if you if that comes up, you can just say then that you can use manager or colleague, or Melissa is the decision maker on what we offer to move forward and buy the property. Anything like that as who she is. You can just position it as, Melissa's on the ground. She's the one that makes the final decision on the property. So she'll want to, probably ask a couple more questions, and then we can, make the best offer possible and see if we can move forward, Mr. Seller.
Yeah, I do the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how you would handle that. Because some people, you're right, won't remember. So that's going to happen. Absolutely. Well, good. What else do we do? So I know obviously you mentioned, LJ, that driving for dollars. So we pull driving for dollars lists. We don't actually put them lists in the dialer because they're smaller and niche. So what we normally do on that is we normally call, text, we leave personalized messages sometimes depending on how many times we've dialed it. And also we do some direct mail. And these lists, LJ, they're probably only 100, 120, something like that at a time that you're calling through. Is that right?
Yeah. Right now I've got more than 500, I think, on this list. Yeah, the D4D leads that I'm working on right now, I've got 504.
Okay. Well, that's more. But still, it's something that the dialer is going to eat very quickly, right? If we put it in the dialer, we're going to blast through it real fast. So that's why we normally, text and call them. And we use, there's two ways that you can do it, guys, for listening. We use dial pad. because that goes in with, we can use Dialpad. It's unlimited text and messages, and calls. So they can use that. Also, if you're using REI Simple, which Ralph does, Ralph uses REI Simple, then he texts and calls directly from REI Simple, or sometimes he uses Vumba as well. We're very big as well on changing the numbers, right? We like to rotate the numbers in Mojo every 30 days. Everyone should be doing that because they will get flagged as spam from an auto dialer. So if you guys listening are using any auto dialer, you should be changing the number at least every 30 days to refresh that. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What else have we got, guys? What else do you do?
I think I can give some advices with some VAs that will, be working alongside with some clients for real estate. Is that it's just a matter of yes or no. You'll get some yes, you'll get some no. Don't let a bad no or somebody who is irate, get in your way, or change your mood, because that will actually change your mood for your whole shift. Let's say you're working for 3 or 4 hours, even 8 hours, and if you got a bad no and you let that stuck in your head, that will actually hinder you from getting more leads. So what I can say is just you're going to get some no's, but cherish those yes that you will get along the way.
Absolutely. I love that, because not only is that in cold calling, what you've just said, but that's actually like us as investors on the phone, right? We get a lot of no's still, and we get a lot of irate people. So that's great. You have to have kind of thick skin and just get in the right mindset that if someone goes crazy, you have the big red button. We can move on pretty easily. We don't have to listen to it, and don't let that define your day. Building momentum. We're very big as well on, as soon as you get momentum and you get one lead, now is the time to use that energy going in and get the next one and the next one and bring it, right? Because we do get a lot of no, the word no is negative, right? It's a negative word, but we try and turn them into, our mindset is the next one's going to be a yes. The next one's going to be a yes. So that's awesome. That's another great little nugget there. Well, good. So we've got something as well exciting that we talked about yesterday, okay, guys, is that we're going to be doing a case study. I'm going to be using these two guys as part of it, where I'm going into an old market of mine, and these leads are over 2 years old. The last comment made in that workspace was 2 years old. And what we're going to be doing is there's 134 leads. And we're going to be calling and texting every single one of them. And we're going to be documenting a couple of different things. We're going to be finding out how many in 2 years have sold. So how many sold for cash? How many deals could I have had and my partner on the ground if we would have continued to work that market? And also, is there any deals that we can actually do? Are any of them deals at 137? Is there still a deal sitting there for us to make money, even no one has touched these leads for over 2 years? And I'm going to be, in this case study, I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'm going to be proving that they're 2 years old. You're going to be able to see everything. It's going to be live. We don't know how it's going to go. And we're going to put these recordings together and release it as a case study. So we're super excited about that. Kind of the game plan for this is going to be, these leads are in Podio. So we're going to call and text them individually. And any positive responses is going to now move over to our new CRM, which is REI Simple. And they're going to be worked from there with one of my coaching clients on the ground. Well, he's not on the ground, sorry. It's one of my coaching clients that invests in this market that I used to invest in. And we're all doing this virtual. So my whole team in this is all virtual, in a virtual market. So the guy who's going to be partnering with me on this, he's virtual. I'm virtual. All the guys, VAs, the whole team is virtual. And we're going to go and find out how much money we could have made. Can we make any more money? And we're going to document everything. So I'm excited. And the reason I want to do this is because I believe everything is in the follow-up. All the deals that we do, over 90% of them come from follow-up, and I want to prove that, hopefully, in this. And it's going to be a little, it's going to hurt, and I hope it does. I hope we go and find X amount of deals that sold that we could have made X amount of $1,000 on, because then it should have been ours, right? It could have been ours, and we didn't do our follow-up. And I think when you see this case study, you're going to go, you know what? If I follow up, that could be me in my market. And I think that's what we're going to see. So we had a quick call yesterday going over this. And also in this case study, Ralph they're both cold calling, using auto dialers. They know that. But Ralph has not been using Podio or Dialpad, and he uses REI Simple. And Vumber and a couple of different services. But LJ is actually going to be teaching Ralph how to use Podio to do this. So I'm not going to be the one doing it. My team is teaching my team, on how to do it. And then we're going to start implementing this, documenting how many leads are going to come in from this and so on. So I think it's going to be really fun. And these guys are going to be involved. What do you think about the case study, guys?
Super excited. Super stoked.
Are we going to record it through Zoom?
Yeah, we're going to be doing.
Okay.
We're going to be doing recordings. So every few days, we're going to get. I don't know, because I've not thought about it, but what I think we're going to do is you know what I'm like. I just take action. So we're just going to wing it along the way. But I'm going to be getting updates. Yes. So we're going to be getting on. Ralph and LJ, and we're going to go, right, okay, you've been calling for 3 days, what's it looking like? And you're going to be like, look, I spoke to 10 people, at 9 have sold, or 1's still interested, or they weren't interested. We're going to gather this data over a week or two and see what we can do. And our goal is to not only document how many leads we've lost, but can we do a deal from this, and how quickly can we do a deal? So anyone that's still interested in selling, now we're going to work them as now we're going to be on the follow-up to see how long it takes us to do a deal from this 134 leads. So that's what we're going to do. And I need to actually remove 2, because we did 2 deals from that already, but I can take them out, because we've notated that. So yeah, I'm super excited.
Me too.
Awesome. So anything else that you guys want to share or talk about before we get done?
Good. Ralph?
I think I'm good. I already given my, visions when it comes to dialing or doing some cold calling, some follow-ups, and hopefully some, for future VAs, we'll be able to pick it up and be more confident over the phone. I think
absolutely
that's going to be the, key thing in dialing or doing some cold callings, confidence.
Absolutely, 100% agree. That's really good, and a good couple of tips there, guys, that you should get. So let us know what you thought about this episode. Again, no one else does this. I don't mind bringing my team on, to podcasts, to videos. I'm going to be doing a lot more of it because, we're all in the trenches trying to do this along with you. We're not special. We're all normal people, and we have the same grinds as you do. So I think hopefully you got some value from this. With the case study, watch out for the case study. Make sure that you're on my email list to go and get them downloads, and then we will be emailing out. That's probably the only way that you're going to know about this case study to get it. So if you are watching, make sure you go to rinetwork.com/downloads. Or grab the lead sheet at rinetwork.com/lead sheet. Once you've done that, we're going to email out when this case study is ready to launch, and it's probably going to be free. Okay, there's going to be no cost. If we have a cost, it's going to be anywhere between $1 and $5 to stop any bots or anything, just to keep all that craziness out. So we might do that. Again, it's not a moneymaker. It's just to basically stop the bots from pulling links and getting a load of spam in there. So cool. Well, I'm excited, guys. I appreciate you. We're going to be doing another one about the case study alone when we get going, when we got some updates along the way. I appreciate you both. Thank you so much. And everyone have a good day. I appreciate you.
Boss.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Keep it
Thanks,
wrecking.
guys.
Thanks, boss.
Thanks, guys. Bye bye.